what is happening, everybody? Happy Saturday to you all. I hope everyone is relaxing, chilling, having a good Saturday. As you guys can see, the ice bar has gotten a little bit prettier here because the cherry tree has come on board today, chilling with us in the ice bar. Y'all show your love for the one and only CBS. No, not the channel, but CherryBlossomShinobi, everybody.
Let's go.
Hey,
Hello,
what's going on? Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to be here in the ice bar today. So I guess you go ahead and leave a little intro, tell everybody about CherryBlossomShinobi.
Hi everybody, CherryBlossomShinobi here. I'm a variety streamer / screamer. Turn that volume down low. It gets a little wild. I love JRPGs, RPGs, just chatting main. Community always comes first for me. I started streaming about 2 years ago, and I've been having a blast ever since. Currently playing Final Fantasy VIII and going through that series and all the others, and I'm just very grateful to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And I know you also have your own podcast as well called the Podcast.
I do the podcast because I scream. It's like the part.
Yeah. You like the little thing I did, the podcast. You know what?
Yeah, I actually had a viewer tell me. I can't remember specifically who it was, but they were like, it was a joke. It was like a gimmick in my stream one day. It's like, what if I did a podcast? And they were like, name it like the podcast. And I'm like, wait a minute, why does that sound so good? And I was like, ayo. And then here we are. And then I actually did it. And I was like, oh my gosh. But I do give credit to that person. I think I know who it is, but I don't want to name the incorrect person. But I do owe it to that person specifically. So it was a wild day.
And I've seen a couple of episodes of that, and you're doing a really good job at that. Let me go ahead and say that first of all.
Oh, thank you so much.
Of course. So you mentioned you're a JRPG streamer. Is there what got you into that? I always like to hear what got people into JRPGs and such. Being a JRPG stan myself.
Yeah. Basically, I just grew up not being allowed to play video games. That's what it really boils down to. I had to stick to I grew up very Christian home based, so I was very strict in what I could play and what I could watch, what I could do. So I only was able to play Mario Nintendogs. That's pretty much the extent to my gaming. And then when I finally made enough money to build my PC and everything and have the setup that I do now, I just started playing all sorts of games, and it just ranges. I really do think I am very much variety in that sense, but I do love a good story, good plot, good characters, good music, and Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts have been that too for me, with The Last of Us as well and Persona 5. So it really just can range between all of them. I just love experiencing video games, especially ones that I have never experienced before and that others have played years before me. So it's just been it's been a journey. It's been a fun journey.
You mentioned Persona 5.
Yes.
Those of you that have known me know how much I love Persona 5, particularly Persona 5 Royal. And I know
it's such a great game.
I know you streamed it some time ago. So just an FYI for those that are planning to play it, we're going into spoiler territory here, so just warning you guys. Tell me. So I was watching Kofi Cat, fellow.
Oh, Cat's amazing. I love Cat. She played through it. Yeah.
So I was watching her YouTube. She posted a YouTube video today.
Yeah, she did.
About the scene where Akechi basically revealed his true colors and turned on the party.
Yeah.
And her reaction was basically how I felt when that was revealed. To be honest, How did you feel about that? How did you feel when Akechi revealed himself to be the corporate, the traitor? I gotta know. I have to know. It's burning inside of me. I gotta know.
There's a reason why I always called him Sketchy Akechi. I literally was like, I was right the entire time. I was like, hang on. I was shocked about how they did it and revealed his backstory and how like creative they got with it. Especially in Royal, they really like defined it and did like a lot more detail to it, which I really enjoyed that part. I was like, this is actually very interesting and how they like painted him, and especially like in the end of Royal with that Royal content brought everything together. But from like the first moment I met Akechi, I was like, Sketchy Akechi. I was like, all right, let's go. And I feel like he just like was that character that like, even though he wears like a sweater vest, like, you know, he's got something's going up upstairs and it's not good. So I just I was shocked in the way that they did it, but I wasn't shocked overall about him being sketchy, because I was like already having that notion in my mind, and I was like, all right.
Yeah,
All
right. That was crazy. Like when like he basically let the Phantom Thieves win, and then it just goes to show you like even like when you're at your greatest moment, like the tables could turn on you like that in an instant.
Absolutely.
That was so nuts. That was so well done, and probably in my opinion probably the best part of the game's story was that. And another question I had. Okay, you mentioned the Royal content. What did you think about it? I thought it was great. I thought it already added on to an incredible game, in my opinion.
Yeah. I have a lot of it took me over 5 years to beat this game. I had never beaten it before. I had played it multiple times, so like when I say I have battle scars from this game, I have battle scars.
Oh, I bet.
It's to the point. It's to the point where like I'll probably never play a Persona game on stream again. With that said, I did love the Royal content. I think the Royal content very much painted such a different picture, and Atlas doesn't wait, can I curse on here? Is that appropriate?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
This is PG,
doesn't give a fuck.
We're PG-13 here, so
like Atlas doesn't give any shits at all, and I love that about Atlas in general, because they hit with Persona 5, they hit such topics that were so like prevalent. They were like, I don't care. Like, heck, this is what it, like in the very beginning they say this is not like based on real life. But like they really just hit a lot of topics, especially like with mental health, and I love that. I love that they painted a picture with this game so well, and Royal content made it so much better. I like kind of wish like Persona 5 Royal was the first game. Like that was the original game that was supposed to come out. But they rushed it and put out the first branch, and then years later they're like, oh, this is actually the real thing. This is what was supposed to be here originally. With the added Royal content, they made things so much more fun and easy. When I played the original Persona 5, it was very hard and very difficult, and it was just like I didn't favor it, so I had put it down and got soft locked multiple times. So when I got Royal, I was like, all right, I heard like really good things about Royal, and I do want to try it again. So when I picked it back up and I played through it, and I was able to finish it, I was able to beat it, I was able to see like the full story. It made a lot of sense, and it was just like, wow, this is such a great game. I really like this game. I like the message it sends. I like the topics they tackle. I loved all of it. Will I ever play it on stream again? No. Never do it again. Never again. But I will never like discredit what kind of game it was and how brilliant it was in that sense. I put it on the same par as what they did with The Last of Us. It's just like it challenges you, and I love that about a game. I love that like you can get connected to all different types of characters, and you like they really made the villains of Persona 5 like hateable, and it made you like it hateable but like relatable. Like one or more of these palaces in these situations, you unfortunately have that relatableness too, which made it all the more brilliant of a game. And you can't ever say that like with video games, oh, it's just a game. It's so much more than a game. And I love the impact that games have on that sense. And it's like, that's what draws you into playing a game. It's not just about one aspect. It's about like how you present all of it. So I was like, I really loved Persona 5 on that front, and I think that's the only Persona game I'll ever play. But it was a fantastic game.
Agreed.
So yeah.
I was just gonna ask you if you were gonna play Persona 4 Golden, but
a lot of people told me to, and I think that I will on my own time. I don't think I'll ever stream a Persona game again. I with what my journey with Persona 5 was, it just took too long, and it was like, it was a battlefield for me personally. So like to play another Persona game, and there's actually, I believe there's only, I'm not going to say like any spoilers, but there's one Persona game that like the ending triggers me, and I heard about this like years ago, so I don't want to ever touch that game. And I don't know if that's 3 or 4. I don't remember.
I think I know what
so
you're
it's like
talking about too.
I think I just like will stay away from both of them. Whichever one doesn't have that ending, like I'm going to play the other one, but I would play it off stream in my own time and kind of like enjoy it that way. Atlas is brilliant. However, like they're very heavy on dialogue, and it's hard to be a just chatting streamer and focus heavily on the dialogue they have, which is important. You're supposed to. That's what the game is. You're supposed to focus on the dialogue and what's being said and what's transpiring. So it makes sense. But if you are very heavy on community and chatting, it's very difficult to balance the two, because those types of games like weigh heavily on that communication. So yeah. Sorry, that was a lot.
No. Go. Hey, that's the whole purpose of the podcast is we chat. We chat it out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel you on that. Like, call me crazy, but I actually streamed Persona 5 Royal from beginning to end twice.
Oh wow.
Twice.
I love it.
And the second time around, it took me almost 2 years to finish on stream. And I was streaming that and Persona 4 Golden simultaneously. So
props to you.
Yeah. I finished the game I started streaming both of them around this. So I started streaming Persona 5 World the second time around July 2020, and then I streamed Persona 4 Golden. July 2021. Sorry, and then Persona 4 Golden I started streaming December 2020, and I finished both of those games last September on stream.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow!
And so yeah, I feel you on that. When you say it's a game you wouldn't want to put another Persona game on stream because it's so long and there's so much to do on it and everything. But you did touch on something like. You said it touches a lot of subjects, in particular mental health, and I know you are an advocate for mental health.
I try to be.
Yeah. Question though, I want to ask, like, how has you shared your stories about your struggle with mental health and everything. How has that defined you today as a person?
I don't want to say that it defines me as a person. I want to say it makes me understand and have empathy and sympathy for other people who have unfortunately gone through the same thing or currently are going through the same thing. I'm very transparent about what I talk about, and when I first started streaming, I held back a lot, but I met multiple people that, have safely and respectfully shared boundaries with their community. And I always, from that point on, from meeting those people, I wanted my community to have that with me. Like, I'm very open, transparent about things, and mental health, like, we all struggle with it. Not everyone's everyone's dealing with something. Everyone's battling something upstairs, no matter what it is, no matter big or small. It's all on the same plane. And it's something that, should be normalized. I feel like we're hopefully getting to a point now where it's more normalized, whereas back when I was a kid or a teenager, it really wasn't. It wasn't talked about. It wasn't really addressed. It was considered shameful in a sense. And it's no, we all struggle with it. There are ways to deal with it and, positively work through it. When I talk about mental health, it's just to let someone know that you're not alone in how you feel, because when you talk about something that's in your own experience, you never know who's lurking, you never know who's in your chat, you never know if your friend's dealing with it. It's I am not alone in this feeling. I feel validated, and I feel this, and I feel that. And if I can make someone feel like they're not going through something alone, that really that's important to me. And so I want to come from it as an understanding ground, more so than it defines me, because there's so much more to a person than their mental health. It's just how, it's just how it's supported and how it's, related to, and how you can help, and all these other things. So if that makes sense.
Perfect. It makes perfect sense. And that was well said. That was well said. I feel thanks to Twitch, thanks to our platform, I feel like a lot of people are beginning to understand more about that. All of us struggle. All of us are bringing more awareness to our mental health and everything. Mm-hmm. And while there's still a long way we still got a long way to go. I mean, a lot of people are more aware and are understanding of a lot of us content creators, because mm-hmm. like you said, we are not it shows they're not alone, and despite everything that we've been through in life, we're still surviving. We're still alive to see today. Mm-hmm. We're still alive to see another day.
Yep.
So, and as content creators, I mean, we're seen as role models for our viewers and for other people as well.
Yep.
And it's a scary feeling, but at the same time, it's also a great feeling. You know what I'm saying?
It is a great feeling, which is why, when you say what you say about being an influence, whenever you go live, whenever a person goes live on the screen and you're broadcasting even a one person or 100 people or 14,000 people, you are influencing and directing somebody, somebody's life. And it's you need, you have to realize that you are an influence to people. You are an influencer. You are a content creator. That comes with a lot of responsibility. And it's so important to, advocate correctly, educate correctly, and be somebody that people can look up to and be influenced by, and all of that. So, yeah. We got to think about everybody and all the stuff, and whatever, the best way we could be an influence to other people is like the main thing, because we have the ability to spread positivity and we have the ability to spread hate at the same time. And I feel like a lot of us want to spread like positivity and all of that. So, you know,
it's all about spreading the positive vibes.
Yeah.
It can be. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Like, as you said, spreading the positivity, spreading like just like respect, just being like a good person, and you know, being that kind of like positive influence, respectable influence. Like, you know, it's the internet.
Right.
You know.
You mentioned earlier that you are a loud hype streamer.
Mm-hmm.
Be honest. Is that
be honest?
You,
Honestly?
Is that also how you are outside of streaming as well?
I've always been a hyper person. Like my mom was like, you ran before you walked, like before I even crawled. I've always been like very high energetic. I've always been somebody, I'm not tested officially, but I feel like I highly range in the ADHD category. And then plus my hyperness just kind of like crosses, and then I'm just like all around like chaotic. I feel like growing up in private school, I had to have like a sense of like I had to hold back a lot of my personality, because that was seen as like rambunctious, or it was seen as obnoxious, it was seen as not controllable, it was seen as like all of these negative things, to where like I really like cocooned myself. And when I look back on it, even now, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've always been this type of person. Like when I started streaming, I started like meeting people who have the same energy as me, which is like crazy, because I hadn't really had that. I had like a lot of reserved people as friends. And then when I graduated and like on my journey to Twitch and everything, like I started meeting people that I had the same energy with, and it's like, oh, it's okay. It took me a while to get back into myself like that. So streaming really pushed it over the edge to where like I am able to be like reserved, calm, and collected, but like my main majority personality is like having fun, being hyperactive, like being like, you know, communicative with chat and having a good time. And, you know, some people can see that energy as annoying, as too bold, or as too like obnoxious and all these things. But at the end of the day, I'm 27 years old. I don't care. I don't care. Not everyone's gonna vibe. Not everyone's gonna vibe with everybody, and that's totally fine. It's like if someone doesn't vibe with me, that's totally cool, and I'm gonna respect that, but I'm not gonna stop being myself despite of it. And I'm not gonna, you know, go back to that cocoon of like I'm gonna not be who I am. And that's something that like I've come to terms with in the last couple years. So what you see on my stream is how like I am in real life at this time. It wasn't, but now it is. So like when I met people at TwitchCon, like we partied hard. We partied, and it was all crazy. I did go to TwitchCon. I went to TwitchCon San Diego, and I met like a lot of people, and I partied with them, and we had a good time. And it was just like that hyper energy, and everyone just, yeah, it was such a great experience. And to meet people that like weren't negatively affected by my personality and how I acted and how I was. It was just like I could finally be myself. And that's something that like I hadn't had in a very long time due to how I grew up. So I'm very thankful to have like come across Twitch in that way, because I have, you know, my personality is like fully formed and growing. So yeah.
I definitely feel that, and I think a lot of people in the chat can feel that too. Speaking of Miss Lulu, what is happening, my good friend? She says, "I feel you, Cherry. Trying to hold back the energy is something I still do today because I think I'm too much for some people." And that's exactly like Lulu. That's exactly how I felt, and that's exactly how like sometimes I do feel, because again, you come across different types of personalities. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, you're only growing
up. You're not reverting back down. So you just have to think about, like, in the moment, like, this is who I'm gonna be, and settle for no one. I mean, my life changed after COVID. My thought process about, like, a lot of things changed after COVID. Like, you know, I think so differently now that it's just like, I respectfully don't care. And I want to respect people. At the same time, it's like, I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that in the respectful confines of things. I don't ever want to be disrespectful or, you know, make someone, like, put anyone down or anything like that. Like, I do want to be a positive person in that regard, but I will be, like, transparent, honest, and respectful all at the same time. And there's a way to positively balance all of that. It just takes a long time. So, like, I feel you, girl. Like, you know, it's something that takes time, and, you know, you'll get there, and I support you all the way, and you do you, you know, don't let people hold you back from, like, who you are. You know, you're human, you're a person, you deserve to express yourself the way that you want to. And yeah.
Could not have said that any better. You know, I've been doing this three years, and never and as someone who struggles with, you know, ADHD and being autistic, I never thought that I would have received the same love and support that I've received, not only from you, but from many others that I've met since I started on this platform. Like, it's incredible, like, that you can still be yourself, you know, on stream without, well, I don't want to say without worry, but you can be yourself and still be able to, you can be yourself without being held back by, you know, like, what other people think and all. And since I started, and like you, since the pandemic and everything, it taught, you know, being on this platform, it taught me a lot about myself that I didn't know I could be, you know. So, but once I started street and everything, I became more comfortable with my speech. Back in, you know, back in my childhood, I had a really bad issue with speech. I would stutter a lot. I couldn't, like, speak complete sentence and all that. But and then that kind of grew over time. But ever since I started I started streaming and building my own community, you know, it's helped a lot with that, and it helped feel a lot more comfortable about sharing myself. And I know you feel the same about your community as well, Cherry. And it's great that, you know, I can be myself. I don't have to put on a persona or something to please everybody, because, like, not everybody is gonna like you. Not every like, you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, and, you know, that's fine. You know, I'd rather grow organically, you know, being myself than being someone that I'm not. Exactly.
There's nothing like you know, watching someone and knowing that they have, like, a facade at the end of the day. And I want to go back to, like, I love that for you. I love that you found Twitch and have found ways to, you know, work on parts of yourself at the same time, like, accepting yourself in a positive regard, and, like, kind of not letting people hold you back in that. And that's something to be very proud of, and that's something to be very, like, respected and looked at. And so, like, I'm proud of you, and I love that for you, and you're doing amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate.
And you're an awesome possum.
Oh, thank you, Cherry. I wanted to. Okay. I don't want to put you on, but before we went live, I was taking a look at one of your clips, like all of your clips.
Oh, okay? No. Oh, no.
Okay, y'all,
I'm so sorry for what y'all are about to hear or see.
Okay, I
apologize in advance. There's a reason why I'm 18 plus, but I actually should be like 21 plus. Oh no. I'm sorry my mom called. I gotta go. No. How did I know it was gonna be this?
So, here, I'll just let the clip speak for itself.
Oh yeah. Oh god. You can definitely not hear it because I'm loud. Oh wait, can you guys hear it? Oh, I'm muted. That's right. Oh my god.
Son of a bitch! I was distracted by sex!
Okay, listen. I'm gonna need everyone to listen. Like, you know, okay, can I just give context of this video? Like, for those of you who don't know, is that okay? Can I just like share this? like I swear to God, I remember when this happened too, and it was like one of like the craziest experiences, because like I never play Pokemon on stream. Listen, I never play Pokemon on stream, and this is when Scarlet and Violet came out, and I was playing it, and I was working because I got Sprigatito, the green Kibby, and I was like, I'm never letting it evolve because I want to keep it like that. And I had level grinded. a lot, and I had gotten it to like a certain level to where like every time it like reaches a new level, it starts to like evolve. So I was just like trying to all right, press B, I gotta not let it evolve. And we were talking about like sex overall, because I'm very sex positive, and I'm very like, I work in healthcare, so I've seen a lot of shit. I've heard a lot of shit. I've seen x-rays of stuff. Like, it just doesn't bother me anymore. I'm very like, kind of like with the human body and like with anatomy and stuff, I'm just kind of like, whatever. And so we were talking about sex, and we were talking about like specifically like shower sex, and like, depending on how tall you are, it doesn't work. Like, it's not as glamorous as it seems. And as I was like talking about this, like we were like getting heavy into that topic, as you can see, but like where the clip starts is when like, I was like talking about it, and I was like, yeah, like shower sex sucks. And I was just like, I was paying attention to chat, and I see Sprigatito evolving, but it's not registering in my brain that I need to like press B and not do it. And I had grinded after all this time. I hadn't saved. So not only did Sprigatito evolve, I'm like, I have to I didn't want that. And it freaked me out, and I just went into overdrive. And then there's a part where like, I actually, in my edited clip, I actually clipped out the part that I like kicked the chair, because I'm like, that's a little much. And then she's like, I was distracted by sex. And then Cozy Kara immediately made it into a voice audio, and then I added it as a command, and then it just got spammed immediately, and it was just fucking chaos. And that's like it's one of my favorite memories, because that's like something I had with like my friends in my community, and that's something that like I'll always remember, because it was just so funny. Like, that was just pure improv in the moment. Like, that's how I felt. It was just it's so obnoxious the way that I felt about like Sprigatito evolving, but like, I just like there were so many emotions in the background of that I was like, this sucks. And I just, it was funny from there on out. So that clip is one of my popular ones. It's the one that defines me at this point. Like, that defines me. I was distracted by sex. Like that. So when everybody like hears me, they either know me by like my Kabusi emote, the shaking cat emote, or shower sex, and they're like, wait a minute, I've heard this audio somewhere. It may not be in your channel, but someone else has it. And I know that there are streamers that have this audio on their channel. But it's just really funny. That was a good funny memory. So thank you.
Man. And that is how the legend of CherryBlossomShinobi was born, everybody.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Yeah. So if you wonder why I was coughing and laughing, because the first time I saw it, I was getting ready for stream, so I had it muted. But that was the first time I heard it with the actual audio, and oh my god.
Yeah.
You said, oh, I'm sorry. My right side start hurts from all that.
Oh my god,
man,
please.
I'm sorry, but can we play it one more time, please? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We gotta play it one more time. I'm sorry.
It's so obnoxious that it is funny. No, like my genuine reaction to this. I was talking about shower sex. No, I was so angry about it. I was like, no. And then the chair.
Oh my god.
I was
distracted by sex. It is just, oh god. I'm gonna break that video down into like millions of parts.
Oh.
So much chaos. Like, people were just so shocked that I even had that reaction to begin with, and just like I was like, that was my genuine reaction. I don't know how more genuine it could be. Like, you can't fake that shit. Like, that was so real. I did not want my Pokemon to evolve. And of course I was talking about sex, and I just like got distracted in my ADHD and like all this other stuff, and I'm like, god damn it. I was able to go back and like restart it, and Sprigatito has not evolved since, I will say. So
well, that's what's up. And you still have the weed cat, as some people call
I do have the weed kibby. Yes, I do.
kitty cat. Yeah, right.
We stand.
Oh, man. Yes. So back to the JRPG subject. Like, what is it about JRPGs? You know, there's a lot of things that draw people in JRPGs, whether it's the characters, the story, how the gameplay. So what is it about JRPG, or here, what is it about particular JRPGs that draws you into them?
I mean, I say it's a combination of all of it, because I don't focus on one aspect. I focus on the game as a whole. Like, if it has like a good plot, if it has good characters, and it has good music, it's an overall like fantastic game. I think about, it's not a JRPG, but I do think about like The Last of Us and Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is like a JRPG. And like both of them are very heavily story based, and both of them have amazing characters, and both of them have amazing music scores. And but they're so different in game, based on like, one challenges you mentally, the other one's just like a fun game to play. And I just see it as, if it's a well-rounded game like that, I'm going to highly enjoy it. If it only has like one aspect, it'll keep me entertained to finish the game, but I'm not going to have like it impact like anything, like how I think about it or whatever. So it's just a game. It's a game. It didn't really do anything like on that scale for me. It was just a fun game to play, versus something that, like, when I finished The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2, I still think about that game. I finished that back in February, and I'm still mentally affected by it. That's a fantastic game. Not only did it have like all of those components, and I could say the same thing about Final Fantasy VII Remake too. Fantastic game all the way around. It doesn't challenge me mentally, but it definitely had like all the components that, I still think about it, and I can't wait for Rebirth, and I can't wait for like more Final Fantasy, and I can't wait. I love Cloud Strife, and I love like all of that. So it's you could take two different takes and look at it from like both perspectives, but you know, there are a lot of games like that, and there's so many more that I have not played yet or even heard of, or like, you know, they're not even out yet. So it's just, you know, it depends on your own personal opinion of it. So mine I view is different, if that makes sense.
I get you. Have you seen the you know, I've never ever played The Last of Us. I had I've heard many good things about it. I've heard the show was really good too. Have you seen the show?
I did. I watched the show. I thought it was fantastic. Pedro Pascal did amazing as Joel, and you know, Bella Ramsey as Ellie, and you know, they ended up incorporating the voice actors for Joel and Ellie into the show as well as different characters, which I thought was fantastic. I think the show, like, they had to do it like a little differently, because in the video game it's more realistic for the video game, whereas like in a TV show they had to change things to make it more realistic for television, and like what would make sense more for the now versus a video game that was made in 2013. And
right.
You know, Neil wrote and wrote an amazing game. Like, I praise The Last of Us for a lot of reasons, and I put it on the same par as Persona 5 just because like it mentally challenges you, and it's just a well-rounded game. I think everyone should play it. I honestly like my IRL friend, like Tyler, he told me about The Last of Us. He said that was his favorite game of like all time, and he wanted me to play it on stream. He's like, you should play The Last of Us, you should play The Last of Us. And I'm like, what the frick is The Last of Us? I don't even know what kind of game it is. And one day I just said, you know, whatever, sure, let's get it. And I bought The Last of Us, and I played it on stream, and then within like the first like 20 minutes of the game, I was like, is this a zombie apocalyptic game? I had no idea what The Last of Us was about. I had no idea it was like based on zombie apocalypse. And everyone was like, wait, Cherry, did you not know about this? Did you not know this was a zombie game? I'm like, wait a minute, what? They're like, Cherry, it's like a survival game. And I'm like, did you not know this? And honestly, like, I wanted to put it down when I was like, I'm not about it. I'm not about horror games. Horror games like freak me out. That's the one genre I don't really like to touch in gaming, because it's just like, I don't want to be on edge the entire time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be scared. But like,
I feel you on that.
I continued. I said, all right. They're like, Cherry, just get through the first 20 minutes. It's going to be like a whole different gameplay for you. Get through these next like 20 minutes. And it's going to like be different. And I got through the first 20 minutes and I was like, all right, okay, based on these 20 minutes, I'm going to keep going. And then I went all the way, and then I went all the way through 2, and then I finished the game, and I was like, oh my God, blew my mind. And I'm like, I put it in as like in the top 2 of like my favorite games of all time, just because. Wow. Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy Remake and The Last of Us are like my top favorites as like overall games. I've talked about this on like in multiple circumstances, but I think that everyone should play The Last of Us. And I think that if you love Persona 5, you will love The Last of Us. It's a different type of game, but it also took me out of my comfort zone. The Last of Us kind of pushed me more out into variety too, where I was kind of like Final Fantasy Kingdom Hearts for a long time. Playing The Last of Us kind of directed me into a different path of variety gaming that I didn't know existed. And it just had opened a door for me that like, I don't need to just focus on Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. I can play other games, because now I want to play like Red Dead 2 and Red Dead, and I want to play like those types of games, and I want to play Uncharted, and then I want to play like Tomb Raider and all this other stuff that's like a whole different branch. And yeah, I mean, Naughty Dog, just like, if they could produce a game like The Last of Us, like, they're heading in the right direction. Like, Naughty Dog and Atlas are just mind blowing with the way that they think about things and the way they make a game, and that's really freaking cool. I love it. So if you guys haven't played The Last of Us, play The Last of Us, please.
That game is on my ever-growing backlog, both the part 1.
I know.
Part 1 and part 2. Oh, speaking of which, have you played the remake? Is part 1 the one that has the remake, right? They remade part.
So they have the 2013 version, and then I played The Last of Us Remastered, and then they just came out with The Last of Us Part 1. So there's 3 different games. There's the original, there's the remastered, and then Part 1 just came out. So when you play it's for like, I think it ended up like on all platforms except PC, and then they just came out with the PC version. And so Part 1 is like all the and I got it. I ended up getting it. And because like the detail is more prevalent, and like when you play it on the PS5, like those graphics just like come out at you, and they upgraded a lot of the facial expressions, which is so cool to see. Like I'm playing it now, and I'm playing part 1 right now on hard mode, and they're just everything about it. Like I just find myself looking at everything again. Like the first time I played it, like you look at your surroundings all the time, you look for all these things, but you know, it really takes just the detail they put into this game is incredible, and them highlighting all of the resolution for it and then adding things and then like updating things in the game, it just makes you stop when you have a moment to look at everything and just appreciate it. It's like they make garbage look beautiful, like, and it's just, you know, when you're in a post-apocalyptic world. Yeah, words are hard. When you're in that type of world, there are multiple instances in the game where they depict beauty in it. Like, this is a really beautiful area. This is a beautiful scene, despite all of this tragedy. And I think that Naughty Dog just like well-roundedly just presented that, and I love them. I can dissect that game. I can talk about that game forever. It's such a good game, and like the show was just as good. And I hope that, you know, I'm not ready for season 2, but they have done very well. Because like if you watch, I love that HBO picked it up. And I love that because what HBO does with like original shows that they make, they do like inside the episode. And inside the episode is one of my favorite things to watch at the end, because they dissect the episode and they talk about things that they changed and why they changed it. They talked about like more in depth about, you know, the characters and everything like that. And, you know, this was a game that was like, you know, back in 2013 when Neil wrote and directed this, you know, it was only so much that they could do at this time. You know, he's had over 10 years. He's had like 10 years to think about what he wanted to do if they made like a live action, you know, so like him wanting to change things based on this and that and this and that, I'm like, incredible. Like, he's thought about it more to where it's better. And it's like it was really like amazing to see and everything. So yeah.
Hey,
I love that game. I love that game.
I really have to check this game out. If it's comparable to Persona 5 Royal, this is something that I have to check out. And it's been, I have my eye on it for a while, but you know, just that life and
backlog is backlog.
Other games, and other games.
Yeah, get through what you want to get through first, and then when you have the time to experience that game, that time will come, and then you'll just like appreciate it all the more in a different sense. Like, you know, never rush to do something because other people want you to do it. I will strongly encourage. But, you know, I respect, like, you know, people have their own set lists and people want to do what they want to do. And, like, that's respect. Like, you know, you'll get to it when you get to it, and then we'll be here for it. I'm so excited to see like everyone's reaction to the game whenever they play it. So
Any do you have any special events? Oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm
no, you're fine. Are you okay?
Let me.
No, you're good. A lot of people have been like sick recently, so like I get it. Allergy season, all of that.
Right.
If I have any special events coming up, I have one that I'm gonna announce on Monday. So, I have that. I'm kind of taking, due to the personal things in my life right now, I've announced that like I'm taking a step back from like doing a lot of things. Like this is the last like kind of collab I'm gonna do for like quite some time, and because like I need to focus on myself. And I love like collaborating and doing things with other creators, and I love like connecting with other creators and, you know, making friends and all of that. However, like I took it kind of you know, trumps what I'm going through, and I need to focus on myself, and I need to like bring it all the way back. So I do have an event that I'm going to announce on Monday, but other than that, I'm kind of gonna be like under the radar for a little bit, kind of just focus on me and do stuff that I have to do, and I think that's the healthy thing to do. And then, you know, any events that happen within the year will happen. Always take time for yourself. You know, a lot of creators think that they have to do all these things to like quote unquote stay in the game, and it's like, no, you don't. You got to focus on you. You come first. Like your rent, your bills, your life. Like, you know, everyone has this outside of, you know, streaming. So it's just, you know, take that time for you and know that it's okay. And, you know, people will, if people really know you and know who you are, they'll understand that, and they'll respect that and appreciate that, and all this other stuff. So, you know, if anyone needs to hear that today, I got you.
Exactly. Always you gotta take care of yourself first before anything. The last question. Okay, so I lied. I had three other questions.
Do it,
But
yeah.
That was the first one.
Yeah, go for it.
Second question. As a content creator, is there any particular people that you look up to for inspiration?
Yeah, there's a couple people. So if we're going from like kind of highest, Sweet Tails, I feel like a lot of people know who she is. She's definitely someone that like I look up to, in the fact that like she's very like open and honest, but she's fun and goofy at the same time. She's very like transparent about things, and like isn't afraid to like talk about some things, but also like being on the respectful side of it as well. You know, she has an amazing community. Everyone like she's very well respected, and I do feel like she is someone to definitely like look up to in the streaming community. And so like as like a she's moving on up there. She's growing really fast. So like she's very well known in the Twitch community. So like that's why I say like the highest form of inspiration.
Understand.
I found like a lot of new inspiration though, being in the FF community. Alina Inverse is one of them. I think she
love her.
I love Alina so much. I think like meeting them has like when I think of mental health and advocating for mental health, I think of Alina in that sense, because they do such a good job at representing that, and in all like really the good, most positive forms of that aspect, and then so much more in advocating. So I feel like, you know, Alina in that sense is very like respectable and very like, you know, like I'll protect them with my life. Like, you know, they're just so, I love how honest they are. I love how they just respectfully say what's on their mind, and it's conveyed in a way that's like not offensive. It's very like to the point, like, you know, people like relate with that, and they're like, oh my gosh, like what Alina's saying is right, like yeah. And I love that. And so like all of that kind of aspect, like I associate with like Alina and respect them highly for it. And you know, it only continues to grow from there. And Alina's very like influential in that sense. And you know, I love that. And then
we love them for it.
I know.
They are incredible.
Yeah. Jin is also another one. You know, he's here. Hey, Jin.
Jin.
It's the way that he like presents to like his community. Like he always like puts community first. The way that he like is very positive with like other people. The way he wants to like get to know and very personable with his community. There's a difference between internally pulling viewers in for yourself and, you know, learning on the inside, like, hey, I'm gonna get to know you once you're in my community, versus I am going to get to know you outside of my community and in yours and in Discord and in this and in that. It's not just like internalized, and Jin does that very well, and he represents like a very different side of what I am. Like we're like so opposite. Like I'm like chaotic 18 plus, like F this F that, and he's just over here like family friendly, and I'm like, he kind of brings that kind of reserve a little bit to where like I don't have to be like crazy all the time. I can like ring it back, and like, you know, he makes me think of other words to say in chat besides like the F word. Everything. So it's like I love that. Rare Gangster, I've talked about this before, but she's also one that like I look up to, in the sense that I grew up in a very conservative private school Christian universe. And I like in healthcare, like, you know, I learned a lot, and I've seen a lot, and getting comfortable with like body references and like, you know, sex in general. And Rare kind of opened that door for me. And I've told her this too. And I got to tell her, like, she opened the door for me to be more sex positive. And I get that from her. And I get that from, you know, it's okay to be sex positive and talk about these things because they're very normal things to talk about. It's not like it's not like considered, you know, pagan or gross or anything like some people make it seem. It's very a natural way of life, and there's nothing wrong with having like not like, it's very healthy to talk about these types of things in the confines of respect, and Rare does that very well too. And so there are a lot of others, but I think those are the biggest ones that like help me do more for my community. And like all of this combined, like I already had these things, but these individuals kind of opened the door for me to be like that with my community. And it's very I love that. I love that I'm surrounded by people, and I'm surrounded by people who influence me like every day on that accord, and just like make me a better streamer moving forward. But not only a better streamer, but like a better person. And at the end of the day, it's like I've always wanted to be just that, just like a better person every day. And you know, yeah. Yeah.
Some incredible names there. Particularly Jin, of course, we love you, my brother. Alina, we love you as well. I know she's streaming currently. And Rare Gangster, who I've had a chance to be on the streams as much as I want to, but for the times I've been there, I know she's incredible, and she's a very, very, very open to her community. And the last question I had, if you had one piece of advice for someone out there who is thinking about doing content, who wants to get into content creating, the camera, tell them what you want to say.
I think the biggest one is, if you are into Twitch, to make profit and make money and make that like an instant career, you're gonna fail. You're absolutely gonna fail. If you don't have that personality for streaming, if you don't have that sociability to have fun, be yourself, and want to get to know other people and build a community, like, because you build off of meeting other people and forming bonds and friendships with those people and like supporting those types of people. When you go into things like the incorrect way, it's going to come off that way, and it devalues you. So, just make sure you're going into Twitch for the right reasons, get to know people, social. I wasn't social, but when I started like to become social is when I started growing. And it really is about the people you meet and who you are as a person, and make sure that like, you are in the right mindset of things, and you're not in it for the profit, because I know a lot of people who are in it for the profit and like have that facade, or like go into Twitch for other reasons. That's not the correct ones, and it's just the simplest thing. I feel like that is a simple thing, though. I feel like that is just, because the internet is forever. Like, the internet is the internet. Things are going to come out eventually. Like, your true colors will eventually show themselves. It may not be right away, maybe over time, but your true colors will show, and people will find out, and, then you'll be like, then people will know, and then you're done.
Right.
So always go in like with the genuineness of heart, and that's what will get you to grow and get you to meet amazing people and have amazing opportunities. So I guess that would be my one piece of advice. Just be genuine, just be a good person, and that's about it.
Great advice. Now, with all that said, it is that time where the roles are now switched. So, Cherry, you are now the host. I'm now the guest. As I said earlier, just getting ready for the podcast, you get to ask me one question. So, the floor is yours.
If you could have a meal with people, with like 5 people, we'll say 5 people, living or dead, who would you pick to sit at the table with you, and why?
Ooh, that is
and it could be as many people as you think. Like, it could be 10, could be 5. We can stick with 5 because that's a lot.
Right. Ooh, that's a very good question. That's a very unique question. I don't think anyone's ever asked me that before. Let's see.
That's what I was going for.
Right. All right. By the way, can anyone in the chat hear me? Can y'all hear me? Is my mic still a little low? I know Silver's saying my mic's still a little low. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you just fine, so I don't want to say anything
Perfect.
because I can't hear you on the other side. So they probably have a different range, but I can hear you.
Gotcha. All right. So, 5 people who I want at my dinner table.
It could be Living Dead. It could be Streamer Edition. It could be whatever. It could be whatever you want. You can pick the category.
All right.
But I do like to say like Living and Dead because like
Right.
Could be.
Gotcha. I think I'm gonna keep it in the streamer side of things for this one, just because I feel like there are people I trust and people that I feel connected to outside, not just a streamer level, but on a personal level. The 5, one of them is in the chat right now, Miss Silverette, and just because I like I feel like, you know, she's one of the people that I could talk to about anything, you know, not just streaming, but, you know, about life, about family, you know, just someone that is so good to be around. Another person, she's not in the chat right now, but Miss Jolly Bunny, who is another variety streamer. For the same reasons I mentioned with Silver Red, and the fact that she's very down to earth and honest, well, in a good way, and you know, and whenever, you know, something's on her mind, she like, it was, you know, we have like a real conversation and all that. Another person who I would like to have from a dinner table, Maze. He is a Destiny streamer.
Oh, yep.
Alina was on his podcaster yesterday.
Yeah.
And he actually is someone I look up to for content creating. As a matter of fact, when I talk about the chill hype and vibes and everything, he's the inspiration for that.
I love that.
And if you on his social media, he always promotes positivity. He's always motivating people, and that's something that I like to do myself, and he inspires me to do that, to share that, just like he shares that with all of his people. So he would be 3. Number four would be, I know he's not here right now. I know he's probably working right now, but the Zero Signal. He is a variety streamer like myself. He also served in the military as well. But
oh wow,
our conversations about life and sports will be something good. I would love to talk to with him about at the dinner table. And number 5. Man, number 5 is a tough one for me. The Jeopardy music. The Jeopardy thing is going. I would say number 5. You know what? I'm gonna go 6 on this one because I really can't decide between both of these. Would be
fair enough.
One of my artists, Miss Kimmy Nin. I know she's out of town right now, but remember Kimmy more than 5? Oh, right. I remember you saying more than 5.
Yeah.
So Miss Kimmy Nin, and Mr. Soupy Dragon. Like, they're the people who I would love to have at my dinner table, just because, you know, I'm really at this point we're really good friends and everything.
Right.
I also want to mention Mr. Kage Boy as well.
Kage is amazing. I love him.
He is incredible. Like,
I love that man.
I would say our conversations
so
would be interesting, but they would be great. Like he'll just be someone you could just have at the dinner table, and like the conversation would possibly go off the rails, but it would be like a good conversation, you know, and just have a good time with. And there's so many more I could name, but because of time I can't. But yeah.
You're fine. That sounds like a fun dinner table, to be honest. Like I love that. I love that. Like, I love the reasonings. I love like that sort of like community behind it. And it's just like, that's the reason why I asked that question. And it's just, you know, who you feel comfortable with, and then, you know, who's taught you and who's like motivated you, who's an inspiration for you, and all of that. So yeah,
appreciate it. All right, good people, well, that is going to do it for our stream for today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will be back live. Also, Cherry, y'all check her out on, when are you gonna be live again?
I don't know.
Oh, okay,
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm very random about it, and it's just something that, like, if I want to do, I'll do it. So I don't know. I have a feel it'll be soon though. It'll be soon.
Got you. Hey, what's good, Enigma? Stream was great, my friend. Had a good time chilling with Miss Cherry Blossom here.
Thank you so much for letting me chill with ya. I appreciate it. I love fun.
No problem. See you guys tomorrow, everybody. My name is Iceman, and I'm signing.
Bye, guys. Peace out.